the Cobalt brushless 80 volt max 630 cubic feet per minute 140 mile per hour rating leaf blower. I'm going to basically today just give you my opinion of this blower and also to make a comparison against the one I've been using for years now, this Black&Decker. I've had a number of electric blowers over the years, and this has been one of my favorite ones. Of course, this has a cord, but it is electric and it is rated at 230 miles per hour. I could not find a CFM rating on this Black&Decker. It doesn't have it listed anywhere. But anyway, this is a good blower. I've used it for years. So I wanted to compare it with my Cobalt. I thought it would be a good comparison. So I made a little apparatus so I can actually determine the thrust to a certain extent. And I think the thrust would pretty much translate into how much air comes out of the end of it. That being said, the first thing I do, since I have, if you notice over here, I have a sound meter to give you some idea of the decibels of sound. I don't know how accurate this is, but we're going to just use this as a benchmark because really the accuracy of it doesn't make that much difference as long as we're comparing these two items together. So what I'll do first of all is to put my Black&Decker on full power and we'll see what it comes out at. Black&Decker at full power comes out at about 52 decibels according to this. Now we'll check it out on the Black&Decker on its medium power. Okay, on the medium power it looks like it comes out at about 46 decibels if you would average it all out. So that's about where that comes out. Okay, now we will test the Cobalt. First I'm going to put it on what I call mid-range high. This is a variable, which is a little bit different than Black&Decker. Black&Decker has two speeds. It's got a high and a low. This has a variable speed. Take the trigger and you ease on it. And it goes up to a maximum point on the trigger mode. So in the trigger mode, maximum point, we'll call that our medium high. And the way that you can maintain that constantly is by pushing down these two levers right here. And by doing that, it locks it in place at that mid-high position. So that's what I'm going to do. We'll read out the decibels to see what this is on mid-high. Seems to be kind of jumping all over the place, a little bit more so than the Black&Decker was as far as the reading. But I would dare say it's probably about maybe 2 decibels lower than the Black&Decker at that medium high when it's on its low speed. So which would be about 44 decibels. All right, now we'll go to high and see how you can do it. Now the high is this trigger up here, but this will not work. The top trigger does not work unless you have your trigger here, the lower trigger, engaged before the top one will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lower trigger on wide open. And I'm going to match the top. Okay, it looks like that was about 47 decibels on high. So as you can see, this unit is somewhat quieter than the Black&Decker unit. When it's on the mid-range high, that's what I would recommend using it at. I did time it, and what I got out of it, I got about 20 minutes of runtime, constant runtime on that point. which is the variable high. Let's say the variable high. The variable high I got 20 minutes, and on the maximum high, I got about 11 minutes of runtime. So it's a significant difference as far as how much battery you will use up. The battery that comes with this is a 2.5 amp battery. Being a 2.5 amp battery, it takes it about, this battery, I did time it and it took it just about what it called for in the manual. I think it was around, seems like it was around 75 minutes for a full charge on the battery charger that I used, which came with this unit. Also, you can use the battery that came with my lawnmower. My 80-volt Cobalt lawnmower came with a 6 amp battery. That you can also use that in it, and you can also use with my hedge trimmer, a 2.0 amp battery came with it, and you can also use that in here. If you're going to use the lower amp battery, the runtime is going to be probably proportionally that much lower. So if you're going to use the higher one that came with the lawnmower, then of course this will last longer. So with the 3 batteries that I have, I don't have any trouble with this. I can use this to blow all the leaves in my yard and then more with probably 2 batteries. But anyway, you can also always run one battery and have the other one charging while you're running one. So I see that as being no problem as long as you've got at least 2 batteries. You can always have one charge when the other one gives out. Next, I'll compare the weight. The weight on the Cobalt, without the battery, it weighed 5.92 pounds. With the battery, it weighed 9.24 pounds. The Black&Decker weighs out at 9.85 pounds. So actually the Black&Decker is heavier than the Cobalt. So the weight on this shouldn't be any problem, since it weighs about the same as a corded electric, or actually a little bit less than a Black&Decker. So that shouldn't be a problem. The next, I set up an apparatus down here, and I will show you how that compares. What I did was I took a scale that I have and rigged it up so I could make some estimate as to how much thrust comes out of both of these blowers. I was really kind of surprised. My results ended up being that the Cobalt on maximum lower throttle, that one puts out about the same amount thrust that the Black&Decker did wide open. The comparison was this one at the lower maximum range put out 2.1 pound thrust, and the Black&Decker put out 2.1 pounds of thrust. So that's pretty close. I would advise using the lower trigger maximum as opposed to the total maximum on this, because it just saves you about half your battery life or your battery extent. Now, of course, if you've got an area where you're going to do just a small amount of blowing, then of course you can go right to max and not worry about it if you're not planning on doing your blowing activity for over about 10 minutes, then you don't have any problem. Now this on the high range put out 3.7 pounds, so that's significantly higher than the Black&Decker, which was 2.2 pounds of thrust. This is going to conclude my review of the Cobalt leaf blower, and I hope that you have found this informative. I did not actually go out in the yard and do a demonstration, because blowing leaves is blowing leaves, and I figure you really couldn't tell much on a video of what was happening as far as the strength and power and everything of this unit. I feel like, since I made the comparison between the Black&Decker unit, that you should have some feel for the power that this puts out. I would highly recommend this blower. I think it's a great little blower. I mean, it's just, you go out there, you don't have to worry about, if you use a corded electric, you don't have to worry about that cord. You can go anywhere all over your yard. You can pick it up out of your workshop or garage and just go out there and don't have to worry about that cord. So that makes it a lot easier to use this, a lot more convenience. But if you've got a gas mower, now that's a different animal. You know, they come into a lot of different flavors there. I've never had a gas mower, and you know, I can compare it with my other gas equipment that I have. And use, you know, with gas, you have to worry about the oil, you have to worry about putting the gas in it. You've got to sit there and crank it. They are usually much louder. So I know for my use, and I think for just about any residential use, and probably some commercial use, that this would make a great blower. So I would not hesitate to buy it again. It is a little bit on the high side as far as price goes, but I think in the long run, the convenience will override the initial cost that you have to pay for it. So again, I hope that find this review informative, and until next time, y'all have a nice day.